Good morning, students. Our topic for today will be all about the multicultural literacies and teaching strategies in preschool, elementary, and high school. Welcome again to our class discussion. For this morning, this topic will be aiming to first identify the different teaching strategies in preschool, elementary, and high school. Internalize the importance of teaching strategies and multicultural literacies in identifying the creator's knowledge. Write a composition expressing their thoughts on how they can use the teaching strategies. By that, students will act it out in the class. Okay, so I have here the 6 strategies for 21st century for early childhood teachers. Okay, so we have one. By the way, before I start, for the 6 strategies, the early childhood, this one, early childhood teachers is like a modern teacher or like the updated curriculum. They follow the updated curriculum. So when we say modern, it is today. These strategies are used in today's generation. So first strategy, we have integrated technology. Okay, when we say integrated technology, technology integration is the use of technology resources like computers, mobile devices, like smartphones and tablets, cameras, social media platforms and networks, software applications, the internet, and etc. There are lots of mobile devices that we can use in daily classroom practices and also in management of the school. Um, that strategy, the teacher will be using different social media platforms. Like for example, the teacher will allow the students to use their smartphones or to do research on the said topic. So, dali na kaayo sa mga estudyante nga pag himo sila mga activity. When the teacher will going to use this strategy, then makaingon pud ta nga, for example, kita ang student murag it is really for our own sake nga mapadali ang ato ang mga buhaton, mas magdaghan pa tag mga informations nga magather because we can gather lots of information or kanang mga ideas when we are going to search it sa mga social media platforms, okay? Next strategy is the cooperative learning structure. When we say cooperative, that means there is a cooperation with between you as a teacher and your students. Cooperative learning is an instructional method in which the students work in small groups to accomplish a common learning under the guidance of the teacher. So, there is a relationship between the teacher and the students. So, not only one student, but between you as a teacher to your students. So, there is a groupings, no? Kini nga strategy ang gigamit nato ani is kanang interaction, no? Next, cooperative learning strategies offer the students the possibility to learn by applying knowledge in an environment more similar to the one they will encounter their future work life. So when we say future work life, that means through this strategy, ang mga students ma-engage sila o unsaon nila pakipaghalubilo sa ilang mga ka-workmates pohon. Through this strategy, makat-on ang imong mga students o kanang method bitaw nga dili sila mas makafocus sa ilang kagalingon but they can gain more and more knowledge from their groupmates. Okay? Third strategy is the differentiated instruction. So, differentiated instruction is a teaching approach that tailors instruction to all students' learning needs. So, kanang differentiated instruction Meaning, from the word itself, differentiated, daghan og ways, daghan og methods ang gamiton sa teacher para ang mga students kuan sila sa goal, come up sila silang goal within that day, maka-learn sila. But all the students have the same learning goal, no? We have the teacher, we as a teacher, we are going to use different strategies or methods in giving our instructions, but we have the same goal, which is to learn. Mo na goal na to ang teacher nga mahatag na to properly ang ato ang mga instructions, ang ato modules, ang ato ang kanang context dito sa atong mga students, bisan pag different ang mga pamaagi, lain-lain og mga way ang atong gamiton, pero we came up with the result, which is for them to learn or to get how are we gonna say that, kanang ang imong mga student ba bisag lain-lain kag mga ways gigamit, ang ending gihapon is nakat-on gihapon sila bisan og lain-lain nga mga ways imong gigamit. Okay, so the instruction varies based on students' interests, preferences, strengths, and struggles. Based sa akong gihatag dira nga example, differentiated instruction. Under that will be the content, process, product, effect. So, under sa content is adapting contents to students' interest. Maghatag ka og content or topic sa imong student, nag-base pud na siya, ang imong student is grade 1. So, you will give a content or a topic that they can relate. Dili kay muhatag ka og kanang topic or instructions or mga activities nga pang grade 5, which is ang imuhang students kay grade 1. So dapat mo connect gihapon ang imong content. Next would be the process. When we say the process, unsa man ang imong way nga buhaton para kanang process nga imuhang kanang content nimo is mahatag jud nimo og ma-give or ma-distribute nimo sa imong students kanang successfully. So you can use individualized, pairing, small groups, and whole groups. So pwede ka nga para mas maingganyo ang imong mga estudyante, pwede na nimong i-group na nimo sila, or you can also use pairing. I-pair na nimo sila para mas maganahan ang imong estudyante. Mao na imong process. After the process, nahatag na nimo imong content with the process which is pairing, you will come up with the product. Unsa may nakat-unan nila anang imong gihatag na lesson. How are you going to identify if your students learned from the content that you give? You can use the product which is to have an oral presentation. For example, okay class, kanang from your partner, choose one representative nga mag-report about sa topic nga naa ninyo. That will be the product. You will use oral presentation, or also you can use videos or writing. Pwede nimo pagamon sila og mga unsay ilang nakatunan through writing. Next would be the effect. Unsa man ang result, unsa ang effect ana sa imong students, no? Safe environment, students are free to make mistakes. Students feel accepted. Then lastly, positive feedback. Aning effect, man naman sila og naka-give na sila sa ilang idea, sa ilang learnings, sa unsa ilang nakatunan. By the effect, pwede makahibaw kung asa sila dapit nagkuwang, asa sila dapit nga mas need og improvement. You can give positive and negative feedback to your students. By that, ning give ka og feedback, you know the result of through the product nga imong gipagamit nila, nakat-on ka ay oy kini si so and so kay kanang need pa ni improve ang iyang kanang skills, which is dapat mas ma-improve ang iyang pagkamaayo manulti. Naa siya kanang talent, but we need improvement. So, at least, kabalo nakaasa ka mo lugar as a teacher. Next strategy is the goal setting. So, involving children in the goal setting process is an excellent way to encourage them to take ownership of their learning. In the early stages, goal setting needs to be done in a very clear and simplistic way. So, kini nga strategy sa mga bata is kanang nindot ni siya nga strategy when you are going to use this kay nga naman imuhang giset ang ilahang ang mindset sa mga bata nga uy, I need to learn a lot, I need to study harder para maka gain kog knowledge. One example for that, when you are a teacher, karang teacher ka sa kindergarten, for example, um, just like when I had the experience of giving or nag-gather kog mga bata, nag-teach, and then, para sa akong nabantayan, when you are using the goal setting, I am using the goal setting, anak ko. Okay, if within this couple of hours, makat-on mo, I will have a kanang na ako'y set man na. Oh, anak ko, kung makat-on mo or basta maningkamot mo, basta ma-end ni nga month nga naamoy makatunan or naay changes man lang, na ako'y ihatag nga medal, na ako'y ihatag nga regalo. So, by that, I can see, nakita na ko sa akong sa mga students nga, uy, murag, makita ni mo nga murag excited. There is an excitement. Ganahan ni sila musod kada adlaw, buntag sayo pa kayo, teacher, teacher, na. Upagali ang time na sila, not just because of the kanang premyo, but the eager to learn. Kanang sa ila bitong ka-excited, murag makita ni mga they are kanang willing to learn. They are willing to learn new things from you. Oh, in the early stages, goal setting needs to be done in a very clear and simplistic way. Bisan noon og kanang gamay ra na nga premyo, but if maset sa ilang una-una nga, uy, kinanglan makaibaw na ko musuwat kay ingon si teacher basta makaibaw daw musuwat na ay premyo. Ana jud ng mga bata, right? So dapat mas muhatag ta og motivation, i-motivate nato sila in order to get that goal nga imong giset. Okay, next, the cross-curriculum teaching. Cross-curriculum or cross-curricular teaching, or the instruction that intentionally applies multiple academic disciplines simultaneously, is an effective way to teach students transferable problem-solving skills, give real-world meaning to school assignments, and increase engagement and rigor. Cross curriculum is same ra ni siya atong isa ka strategy which is differentiated. You can use different ways in teaching, but you are following the given curriculum. 'Di ba? As a teacher natay gisunod nga mga curriculum, natay mga gi-follow nga mga curriculum in order to apply the knowledge that we are going to give to our students. Like for example, an effective way to teach students problem solving skills is that you are going to kanang, for example, na ipa-experience nimo sa mga bata ang real world. For example, naay uban mga teachers iyang ipagawas ang iyang mga students. Adto sa okay class, let's go out and then let's learn colors. O adto sila sa gawas, mo point ang teacher unsa na nga color, by that the student is kanang ma-enjoy ang student, makat-on ang student, og dali ra masud sa huna sa estudyante nga uy, color pink man na kay mao man ay gi-teach ni teacher katong ngadto mi sa gawas dito sa playground. O by that, ana nga way sa or ana nga strategy, dali ra ang pagkat-on sa imuhang student. Okay, that would be the 6 multicultural or strategies sa mga preschool. Now, the common teaching styles in elementary students, we are going to move forward to the common teaching styles in elementary students. We're done with the elementary, we are done giving 6 strategies to kanang preschool students. Now we need to focus on the teaching styles or strategies sa mga elementary students. Demonstrations. No, it is very particular for teachers to use demonstrations during elementary days, right? As we remember sa pag-elementary, most of the teachers, not just most but all of the teacher are going to use demonstration or demonstration method of teaching. So demonstration assist in teaching a skill with multiple steps. They engage the audience and encourage audience participation. Finally, demonstrations are a way to engage the audience in a more complete way rather than focusing on simply auditory or visual teaching strategy. So it is true nga kung mag-demonstrate ang teacher, if the teacher will going to use this style, then the students are excited to learn new things every day. Kay nga naman, not just the auditory, 'di ba? Dili lang mag-focus ang teacher sa auditory or the visual strategy, but also they are engaged with the teachings nga gihatag sa teacher. Next, hands-on. It is very kanang known or also nga ang teacher mag-use og hands-on style. Unsa maning hands-on? Hands-on learning, another term for experiential learning, where individuals immerse themselves in a subject to learn. Students learn from partaking in activities rather than passively reading a book or attending a lecture, right? Kaning hands-on style, it is the relationship between one teacher and one student. It is the relationship between you as a student and also your teacher. It is nice to use this style. Why? It is because kanang you will be able to know what are the problems of your students. Just like for example, you have a student which is grade 1, and then you are using this strategy of teaching, and then you will be able to know why this type of student is kanang lisod niya ang pagkatun-an ang butang tungod kay hands-on man kaniya, naka-focus ang imuhang teaching adto niya. You will be able to know which part is that particular student asa siya maglisod asa siya mas dali. So it is easy for you to determine nga kanang unsa ay weakness sa imuhang student. Next, the traditional lecture. The traditional lecture method is the method that the teacher impart knowledge to students, oral language, no? Lecture method includes telling method, interpretation method, speak pronunciation, and speech method. Teachers use all kinds of teaching methods in teaching, mostly accompanied with teaching method. It is very kanang based on the picture given. As you can see, the teacher is also using the demonstration. It can also be hands-on, 'di ba? O gamiton sa teacher ang traditional lecture sa akong na hinumduman, the teacher will be kanabik ganing mag-teach ang teacher niya, magsigig lakaw-lakaw anang imuhang tunga moagi diri moagi sa likod while teaching. So by that, the teacher will be able to give the interpretation method, speak pronunciation, speech method, di ba? Kaning style, the traditional lecture is mura ni siya combination of hands-on and the demonstration. Okay, next is the collaboration. Collaborative learning takes place when students work together in small groups on a shared learning task. Within this framework, there are many approaches that use different kinds of tasks and organization. And its core, collaborative learning relies on the creation of meaningful tasks and engaging group responses. Okay, this style, the collaboration one, is like kanang pareha atong sa preschool students nga kanang the teacher will have group the teacher will group his or her students in order to have collaboration. Mag-collaborate ang said groups. For example, the teacher will group the students into three. And then that three students will be able to ideas, share their thoughts and perspective about that given task. No? And then by that, the students will learn a lot from the shared ideas with his or her group mates. And then the teacher just be able to know one idea from one group, but the teacher will also learn from the other groups. Muna siya collaboration. The next will be the hands off. Through hands off teaching, you ask your students to distill information from themselves and answer their own questions. Rather than simply telling students what they need to know, you guide them through the learning process. Okay? So, kung ganina is ang hands-on, ang teacher will be able to know or to give learning to his or her students face to face, or kanang ang engagement between the teacher and the students is kanang mas mapadali. Kining hands off, the teacher will just going to give task to the student, and then the student will be able to determine or will be kanang gather or have his or her own understanding about the task. The teacher will not going to provide any lots of information about the said topic, but the teacher will just wait until the student will ask something about the given task, and then by that the teacher will not going to give his or her idea or answer about the questions asked by his or her students, but the teacher will allow the student to answer his own question. Anang for example, ma'am, unsay ka nang pasabot sa kanang identify. So, ang teacher mo nga na siya sa student para nimo unsay imong nasabdan sa word nga identify. O by that, the student will going to analyze unsa man jud ang identified. So, the student will answer his or her own question. Maunay hands off. Next is maura to ang ato ang mga strategies or styles sa elementary students. We have first we have the demonstration. Next, we have hands-on. Third, we have the traditional lecture. Fourth, we have the collaboration. And then lastly is the hands-off. Now, we have here the top 10 teaching strategies to use in your classroom. First, we have the modeling, mistake, feedback, cooperative learning, experiential learning, student-led classroom, class discussion, inquiry-guided instruction, lesson objective transparency, and then the graphic organizer. So those are the strategies nga pwedeng gamiton for you as a teacher sa imuhang mga students. You can use modeling, which kanang ang pasabot ng method is kanang mag-give ka as a teacher og example, and then by that given example maka-learn ang students ana nga given nga model, or like kanang maghatag gintay ka og kanang for example sa science subject maghatag ka sa imong students og kanang murag bitaw siya taw-taw nga nay mga parts of circulatory system ana. By that they will learn through pointing asa man ani nga part ang kana nga kuan kani nga kuan ana. So also you can use the feedback, kana nga method kay kanang you'll be able to know the kanang asa dapit imong student low, asa dapit imong student high ang ilahang understanding. Next we proceed to what is teaching strategies. Unsa man jud ning teaching strategies? Unsa man ni siya? Teaching strategies, also known as instructional strategies, that are methods that teachers use to deliver materials in ways that students will be engaged and practiced different teaching strategies. So, kining teaching strategy, or also known as the instructional strategies, kay unsa man ang mga strategies or methods nga gamiton sa mga teachers. Like sa akong gi-mention earlier, the teacher can also use, kung ang teacher is ang iyang students kay elementary, he or she can use hands-on hands-off demonstration. The teacher can also use the collaboration method. So there are lots of ways in order to give your lesson to your students. Mauna ang mga strategies or ways. So unsa man ang kaimportante sa mga ways, or what is the importance of having different or lots of ways in giving your lesson to your students? Unsa man ka-importante nga mag-use ka og different lain-lain nga mga ways or methods para ma-disseminate nimo tarong ang imuhang lesson. First, it helps students to master the content of the course. Right? It is true nga kanang kung ang teacher magamit siya og kanang dili na siya naka-focus bitaw sa collaboration nga method, for example. Ang teacher dili lang kay mag-focus ana nga method tungod kay dili tanan students, not all your students have the same way of understanding your content or your lesson. Every students have different ways on coping up your lesson. Dili tanan students makasabot og magamit kag method which is the collaboration. Kay there are students who are kanang fast learner, and some students have kanang also kanang low kada bitong dili dali makasabot. Next, teaching strategies is important because it helps students to learn how to apply the content in particular context. Note it. Next, it helps students participate, right? Sakto na siya nga kung mag-use ka o katong traditional teaching strategy nga you will allow students to participate, kanang mo point ka og student, okay, Gerald, what is your idea about the said topic? Okay, the student will be able to give his or her the student will give his or her idea about the topic, no? Connect and add excitement to the content being delivered, right? It is true nga if a teacher will going to use lots different or any method of teaching, it will help the student to be excited to go to school every day. Kay dili man mabore ang student because you are using different ways of teaching every day. No, the student will connect with you, and then he or she is excited to learn every day. Kay it is not boring man. For example, today you are going to use collaboration method. Then tomorrow you are going to use the hands-on method or hands-off method. So that the students is not bored. Dili ma-bored ang mga students na kay ay napod ni si ma'am. Ha? Sa we are, it is true baya na nga mong ang student mo nga na ay nanapod ni si ma'am kapoy di ko ganahan musod sa next subject kay kanang boring kaayo ang maestra, sige raman siya og kanang give ay sige raman siya og kanang basa, sige raman siya pasuwat namo nga na di ba ng mga students. So in order for you nga maka lingkawas ka ana nga mga incident is maggamit ka og different methods, no? One thing before we end this discussion, it is important kaayo nga as a teacher, you need to imuha ganing i-observe. You need to observe your students. Kay through observation, you will know where are you going to asa ka mo lugar. Through observation, makabalo ka kung asa kadapit nga part nga mas i-improve pa nimo ang imong teaching. Kay teaching, even though you are a teacher, that doesn't mean nga kanang you will stop learning, because once a teacher, always a student. You as a teacher will learn every day from your students, not just from the topic that you are to learn. Okay? Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being able to watch or to learn a new topic this morning. I hope you learned something, and I hope you will bear those important informations in your mind nga kanang it is important for you as a future teacher to know these strategies kay para ma-apply sad nimo para mas malikayan, no, ang katong issue nga uy nana po di ko mo ganahan musod ani nga topic kay kanang di ko ganahan musod ani nga subject sa next subject kay my teacher is very boring. Like you need to understand well your student. You need to know what are the ways for you to use para ang imuhang pagka-teacher is kanang successful. Okay? Thank you so much and God bless you.